Hello and welcome to the On the Slate Movie Podcast. We are your hosts, Wesley,
Jason,
and Asher.
And on the slate for today, we are going to be doing our news episode. So we're going to talk all things movies that came out in April. We're going to be looking forward to the movies coming out in May. And we're also going to talk a lot about the summer, all the movies coming out, the box office, and everything like that. So yeah, let's hit it, fellas. We're back. We're excited. I love the news episode. And there's
always a blast.
There's been some pretty cool stories lately over the last few weeks. And we're going to get into them. So do we have any shout outs this time? I don't know if we do.
Ooh, I forgot to ask that beforehand. I think we do. I'll take care of this. Do you have something, Jason, already?
I do want to shout out Corbin, who we saw a movie with.
Yeah.
I don't think I think he's commented and he sent something to us on Instagram, actually.
Yeah.
It was a Star Wars meme. I laughed at it. I'll shout you that out. Yeah. So he did actually send us something, but he also saw a movie with us and he was really cool. Also shout out to Sam and Tom, who were also really cool.
Yeah. Thomas, probably.
Yeah.
I don't know if Thomas has ever gone by Tom, but...
Oh,
yeah.
Apologies.
It's okay.
Thomas.
Yeah, we got to see the Revenge of the Sith release, the 20th anniversary, and
is that a hint?
Despite our differing opinions on the movie, I think we all had a really great time, and so
for sure
it was a blast. So, well, we may or may not be deep diving that later this month. It's been our highest requested movie. And by that, I mean one person has commented on it. So they told us that. So all other movies combined for a total of 0 points. So, well, we got some in the email, too. We've got some stuff to work with.
Yeah.
So
got a little inventory to start off of.
Yeah. So maybe the biggest story in terms of recent movie releases was Minecraft.
Chicken Jockey.
No.
There's been so many times where I've thought about actually going to see this movie and I haven't seen it yet. But it keeps making a lot of money. It just made like $22 million this past weekend. So
that's crazy.
It's still pumping out money. And it now has $816 million worldwide.
It'll hit $1 billion
today, which is April 28th.
If it's still doing $200 million per weekend, it's probably going to hit $1 billion.
So it's on its way to $1 billion.
Dude, it's gonna hit $1 billion. I feel like it's gonna hit $1 billion
per weekend. I mean, like the most recent weekend.
So, potential first $1 billion movie of the year. We're gonna talk a lot about that later. Just our $1 billion predictions this year.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm excited about that. Critic reviews not very good, 45. Also fan reviews not very good, 5.9. Those are the IMDb and Metacritic ratings, 5.9 and 45. Yeah, definitely not great, but people are going to see it. Never underestimate the Minecraft crowd. So
never. The power of a beloved property.
Yes. Maybe I'll see it. I don't know.
We almost went to go see it. If I hadn't just come out of the theater watching something else, I probably would have agreed to.
I think I reluctantly texted you. I was like,
you were like,
do you want to see Minecraft?
You were like, I know this is a long shot.
I feel like maybe I should watch it for the podcast so I can be better informed.
I want to watch it. It's like a culture thing. It's like I want to be a part of that culture.
Yeah. And it's probably going to be in theaters for many weeks to come too. So
can't forget the re-release in 20 years.
No, yeah, the 20-year. Yeah, I'm sure. I'm sure that'll happen. They'll probably have the whole Minecraft cinematic universe. It'll be like in its fourth phase by then.
Did you make that joke? Or was it you that made that joke?
I think it was two of us.
Oh, yeah, we did make that joke.
The
That's
MCU.
Right. That's right. We just recycle jokes. That's what we do here.
Because we care about our planet. We recycle.
Yeah, that's hilarious. So,
we got to start composting jokes in the future. That'll be good too.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. I'm just going to talk about the next movie. The next one, Sinners. Yeah, Jason and I saw this movie. Asher, I don't know if you
I haven't seen it. I saw some ads for it, and I'm curious to hear about it because I know it's a... don't tell me. I know it's a... movie directed by the same guy who directed Black Panther, Ryan Coogler. And I know that Michael B. Jordan stars in it, right? And Michael B. Jordan and Ryan Coogler seem to have like a pretty strong film industry relationship.
Every single one of Ryan Coogler's movies has Michael B. Jordan in it. All of his major releases.
Fruitvale Station,
Major
right?
directors.
Yeah, every
That's
single
another
he's
one.
made 5 movies. Fruitvale Station, the Black Panthers, Creed 1,
Yeah, he only did the first Creed.
Which is a super good movie.
and now Sinners.
Yeah, so I mean, I think Ryan Coogler might be one of the up and coming best directors. I don't like the Black Panther movies that much, but clearly between Creed and Sinners, all the issues with those movies really had nothing to do with him.
Just gonna slightly. Hopefully this doesn't ruin our audio. Sorry, Asher.
Oh, you just had to tilt it a little bit?
Yeah,
Yeah.
I was like hunched over. Should have checked that before. But that's my fault. That's totally on me.
But anyways, like I was saying, I don't think the problems with the Black Panther movies clearly had nothing to do with Ryan Coogler as a director, because Creed came out so long ago. That was 2015. So and then you just had the Black Panthers. So I think him getting his own movie again, he's really showing dude, he can direct. It was really good.
Yeah,
probably the best movie I've seen this year.
The Black Panther movies aren't bad because of the director, right? I think they're pretty well directed movies. They're just not.
I mean, I guess I just didn't know.
The problem a lot comes with the writing.
I was gonna say I didn't know how much of a hand he had in the writing of those movies.
Yeah, and plus you have the aspect of trying to weave it, like you're trying to weave it into the overall MCU, and so I feel like that can sometimes be a challenge in a good way, but also I feel like sometimes it ends up being a hindrance on Marvel movies as a standalone movie.
Yeah. And then the score, Ludwig Göransson.
Ludwig Göransson, something like that.
Göransson.
This Swedish man showing up in a movie full of like African American people, like it's funny to me, but it's so good. It's like, it's the movie itself. I mean, I don't think it's a perfect movie 100%, but it's really, really. I mean, it's got a good directorial vision to it.
It's got a blend of genres.
It's a genre blender. There's one scene in particular where they're like dancing in the bar or whatever it's called, the club,
the juke,
the juke, yeah. And
are we talking about Sinners now?
Yeah, Sinners.
Oh,
Sorry,
I was thinking about Black Panther, and I was like,
no.
When are they dancing in a bar?
Because Ludwig does also do the score.
Yeah,
I don't want to spoil the whole scene, but that's easily the best scene of the year so far. Like it could be.
It is so good. It's a one take too.
It's a one take of just a blend of different. Yeah, it's like I don't want to spoil it, but it's an incredible scene. You'll know it if you see it. There's also like vampires in the movie too.
It's a monster movie,
which is crazy how it has like the genre film elements and also like this.
It's like a period piece. A film about music, and also there are vampires.
It's got a lot of great aesthetics to the movie, and it's also like a really good story. What's his name? Who played the guy that was playing the harmonica?
Man, we were talking about it when we came out of the theater.
Obviously, Michael B. Jordan is great, and I hope that he gets like awards consideration. Dude, him and Robert Pattinson this year with like
playing twins.
Well, it was a little different in Mickey 17, but these like dual protagonists played by the same actor. That's happened twice this year. It's weird that it's happened twice, but both have blown it out of the water.
They're gonna need to make a category called playing two characters.
Miles Caton or Caton, I don't know how you say his name. I'm sorry. He is like a newcomer. He plays the main character, Sammy. Who I think
this is like his debut, right?
Yeah,
because I think it starts off like it's like introducing, or no, in the credits says introducing.
Yeah, and I think that he brings.
He's a pretty good actor.
He brings like a subtle confidence to his character, but you can also tell that there's a lot of conflict within him. I think he gives a really good performance, and I will find that actor's name. Delroy Lindo plays. His name is Delta Slim. He is
Slim.
He is so good. He is the standout. Slim. I think like supporting performance in this movie. Haley Steinfeld's in it as well. She's good. She's solid. The whole vampire crew in it. Yeah, the movie I think for the most part is really good. I think at the core of the movie they're trying to present this like, would it be better to live as a human or a vampire? I think that's what it's kind of like. And it's like this. I think it reflects like, is it better to like live this like authentic like human experience, who you are, or just like kind of go along with what others doing? That's probably a really like basic understanding, surface level understanding. It goes a lot deeper than that, but yeah, it's a really interesting, fascinating movie with a great score. I mean, holy cow. Ludwig Göransson, I hope he goes 3 for 3 at the Oscars with with Black Panther, Oppenheimer, and now this Sinners. So raving about it. I think it's the best movie of the year so far. $161 million at the box office. Yeah, and
what was do you have the budget
which
numbers?
is the budget is like $90 million.
Okay.
So
That's
I mean,
pretty
that's
good.
just 2 weeks. It's already made like a lot of money, and it's got really good like audience score on IMDb, 8.2 and 84 on Metacritic. So really solid across the board. People loving this movie. I think it's going to be an awards contender. Probably won't be Best Picture winner or anything, but I could see it getting nominated for like pretty much everything. And I hope that Coogler gets a Best Director. No. Unless I see 5 other movies this year that, I guess it's too early to tell. But
it might be hard though. I don't. Well, we're going to get into it. We're going to talk about some future films.
So Sinners, definitely a great movie. Like we mentioned earlier, Revenge of the Sith. Re-released. It made $25 million this weekend,
which is really good for a movie that's not in theaters technically.
That is, I mean, it adds on to its total gross, so I'd have to add up the.
I don't like that. I don't like that. The Titanic did that so they could overtake Endgame, and that rubbed me the wrong way forever.
Yeah, I can look it up too, but
I just don't think a re-release should count towards your total film gross.
Because I get that, because you're accounting viewers. Yeah, and plus you're accounting for like fans who have grown an attachment
to already
the film.
like a movie, right? Like
yeah,
like us.
Yeah,
you already liked the movie. We were going to go see it.
Yeah.
Revenge of the Sith sits at $892 million. What? And if you adjusted for inflation, it'd probably be over $1 billion.
Is this overall like with original? And
I think that includes the $25 million it made this weekend.
So it's really not adding that much, but still, I don't like that. I don't like that we count it that way.
Well, I mean, I don't know how else you'd count it. It is the same movie. It wasn't like a remaster. It was just the movie.
I just don't think you count it. I just don't think you count it as that.
Sam Jackson's gonna be like, "Where's my royalty?
Where is my?" He probably.
Well, I'm sure he did get royalties.
He might have.
That contract didn't expire. I don't think. I think it's in perpetuity or whatever. I don't know.
So
maybe I'm wrong. I'm making stuff up.
Anyway, that has Revenge of the Sith has a 7.6 and a 68.
Wow, that sounds really good, Wesley. I can't believe you agree with that. That's next episode. Sorry.
We'll get into that. Warfare.
I love that.
Came out a few weeks ago. Warfare was a really interesting movie.
We saw it, not together.
Yeah, it's a very singular type of movie. I don't know if I've seen a movie like it. It's just like it's a war movie that just takes place. It feels just like a moment in time. Like that's all it feels.
An hour
like.
and 30 minutes of a really small battle in Iraq in 2006.
There's not like hardly any context that's given to you at all. It's just like here's another Tuesday for these people. That's what it felt like to me. It was very interesting, really well executed movie. The sound design, spectacular. I mean, holy cow, the sound in this movie was so good. The performances were pretty good across the board. Like Will Poulter plays like the captain, I think. I don't know exact rank that he was, but
the leader.
Yeah,
the leader of the guys we were watching.
Yeah, and there's a couple other guys.
You have Johnny Storm in there.
Oh yeah, Joseph Quinn, Charles Melton. So
wait, Johnny Storm from
the guy that's going to play Johnny Storm.
Oh, okay.
He's in that movie. He also plays the crazy emperor, one of the crazy emperors in Gladiator 2 as well.
Oh, really? Wow.
So he's been doing all the franchises.
Well, he was on Stranger Things. He was in season 4.
Oh yeah,
and that's what blew him up. Which I'm glad. I really liked his character in Stranger Things.
Yeah.
But Warfare, dude, man, that was if Sinners wasn't a thing, that would probably be the best movie this year so far. It's just it's just like I think he described it. It's just a moment in time about like this just a seemingly random battle. I think they were like, I think there was more to it, but we were just seeing a small portion of it.
Yeah.
I don't know, the ending where they, well, I'm not going to spoil it, but the ending with the kind of like slideshow. I don't know.
Yeah, it was kind of like an end credit scene of like behind the scenes stuff. Yeah.
Yeah, but where they showed all the soldiers. Mm-hmm. I don't know. It was just nice. It was neat.
Yeah, I think it was a
good homage. I think.
It was a really well executed movie
for a war that I think that's so scrutinized, but here in America and globally and they don't shy away from it. They kind of show you like they just kind of go in this people's home and ruin it. And like literally ruin their lives.
Well, yeah, but I don't think the movie itself is trying to come at a specific angle.
But I'm saying it's just showing like the reality of. I mean, the movie's called Warfare. This is the reality of warfare.
Yeah, it doesn't feel like it's pro or anti war in the Middle East. Just like this is just a story that happened. Like, and I kind of like that neutral perspective that it has. So,
I would argue that. Yeah, like I don't think the movie's trying to push it, but I think the reality tells us like this was like. I mean, you can't help but feel bad for the family there.
Yeah,
like I'm not saying like the soldiers aren't like I'm not blaming the soldiers either. They were just doing what they're told.
I think people are gonna get different things out of the movie for sure. I think I think some people are gonna see it as an anti-war. And some people are going to think like, oh, this is like a pro-America type movie.
Is it?
I think. Well, I think
nothing's really pro-America in that movie, man.
Well, I think people are going to see both sides.
I mean, I think it's pro-soldier. It's pro supporting the troops, quote unquote. But it's not pro-America. I don't think.
Yeah, and it has a lot of subtle character details. It's not like a character study by any means, but you barely know anything about any of the characters in it. But
which I think is great.
I think the stuff you learn is. Like body language, subtle things. It's not really like, oh, here's a monologue explaining my backstory.
Yeah. I guess I'll put it like this: it does a really good job of appreciating the men that it is based on because it's literally just, according to the movie itself, it's a 1-to-1 recount from the soldiers who were there, and they're just reenacting it. So I think it's doing a really good job of just respecting them and appreciating them, while also not. Supporting the war, right? If we're not supporting, America was. It's not like America and Germany in World War II. It's not like gung ho, we must defeat the enemy. It's more like these guys are just in a place where they have to do something, and it's not a very nice thing. But we're respecting both, people, the people.
I got you.
A very people oriented movie, right? Yeah, that might be the best way to put it.
Yeah, no, I think that's a great way to describe it for sure.
You were going to say something. I kind of cut you
off. You said how like you don't learn much about the characters beforehand, and you just kind of like really pick up on them throughout the movie.
Yeah,
I feel like that kind of makes sense with the fact that you're saying it. The movie kind of shows that this is just another day, and then I kind of think if you were just like a fresh soldier put on that team. And like you're not going to be you probably aren't going to be given a background of every person. Like you start to pick up on their characteristics as you experience life with them and observe how they operate and stuff. So I feel like they probably had some creative intention behind that for sure.
Yeah. So I really enjoyed the movie for sure.
Wesley, can you tilt your microphone down just a little bit? Just that part.
Like this way or this way?
That second, the ladder.
Like up that.
Yeah, perfect. Oh.
Okay, cool. Thanks.
We'll leave that in. It's okay. We're here to.
This is an authentic experience.
I'm a boomer when it comes to technology. Asher's.
What are you talking about, dude? You use some pretty sweet technology to make this agenda.
I did not, but I'll take credit for it. Sure.
Everyone, drop a comment if you think Wesley does a good job with the agenda, because we've always had the agenda. So
that is true. We always have.
It's a great structure.
So the next movie is The Amateur, which has Rami Malek and Rachel Brosnahan. I don't know how to say her name honestly, but she's playing Lois Lane in Superman. Anyway, this has $80 million worldwide. 6.7 IMDb, 52 Metacritic. Just another movie, honestly.
That's one. It's a movie where when we see it in the trailers before another movie, it reminds me of Ambulance from a few years ago, where it's like, oh, that's just the whole movie in the trailer, huh?
Yeah. Yeah, he instead of beating guys up with his fists, he beats them up with science and wires and
by science, he just means
and explosions.
It's just a bomb. He just makes multiple bombs.
Various creative kills, I guess.
He watched.
Did we talk about this or did we mention?
We
this?
did, yeah. We mentioned this in the upcoming releases last time. So
I'm just thinking, I was about to.
Now we're circling back to see how they've done.
I was about to rant about the glass thing, but I was like, I feel like I talked about this.
You did. Yeah, you did. That's funny.
Yeah. The King of Kings, which was a animated movie about Jesus that came out the week before Easter.
Yeah.
It's a family movie.
Yeah, it was. So it's set in the Charles Dickens time period. Wait, does that... Hold on a second.
I know 1800s?
You're right. I think...
Somewhere in the...
I know it has, Charles Dickens in it.
Yeah.
But I'm not sure how it relates to the Jesus story.
So basically, I think, if I gathered this right, Charles Dickens is trying to teach his son about what it really means to be like a king, because earlier they were preparing for a theatrical play, and his son was just being kind of mean to another friend of his, and he's like, I'm gonna play the king or something like that, and he was being very entitled about that and just being really rude, and that basically opens the door for for Charles, his dad, to teach him about what it really means to be a king. Mm-hmm. And I feel like the trailer can do a better job of tying those two together, but essentially he then tells his son about the story of Jesus, and so they kind of go back in time and kind of experience Jesus's life in a fun animated way.
Yeah. Well, cool. I haven't seen it. My friend saw it and said he really enjoyed it. So
that's cool.
It's got a $58 million worldwide, 7.5 IMDb, 42 Metacritic. So.
Okay.
42 doesn't surprise me. That's how it always is with Christian movies. Low Metacritic scores, but whatever. The Passion of the Christ had a 42, I think.
Why are our critic fellows so not liking it?
It's just, that's a whole nother discussion for another day.
we must pray for our fellow Metacritics.
Even if it's actually a good movie, it'll still get dunked on. But anyway, so sad. The last one, The Chosen, all 3 parts of the season 5 have finished their theatrical run now.
That was fast.
So the first part had 2 episodes. The second and the third parts each had 3. So it was 8 episodes. And I made a mistake in the last podcast. I said that I could use my AMC Stubs membership to see it, but I actually couldn't. I thought I could, but I couldn't. So I still had to pay $15 for. So if anybody somehow listened to me and thought that they could get it for free with their membership, I'm sorry. I take the responsibility.
I came here with my MC Stub card and only my MC Stub card. So, I had no money.
I had to pay $45 to see all 3 of these things.
Wow.
So that was my fun budget for the month.
Budget.
Yes. Exactly.
But this has a different Metacritic score.
So it doesn't...
Oh, no. It doesn't have a Metacritic score.
I think it might, but I don't know. TV... On IMDb, it doesn't show you the Metacritic score for TV shows. That's a 9.1 on IMDb, which is really high.
Yeah, that's really high.
Very high. And it's got tens of thousands of reviews, too. So
it's not a small sample size.
It's not a very small sample size. Yeah. So the people who really watch this show love the show. Which I think is the consensus. My honest thoughts on it, I think it's a really good show, emotionally impactful. I think when at its best, it's really, really good television. I think scene to scene, it's not super consistent, but I will say season 5 definitely was a strong season. There were parts where it felt like, okay, they're dragging this out a little bit over 8 episodes, but overall, I mean, it's really, really impactful. I think it's well told stories. I think Jonathan Rumi as Jesus, man, give this guy an Emmy. Like, I'm serious. Like, he's so good. Especially the scene where he's like saying woe to the Pharisees. That scene was crazy. But anyway, $40 million.
What was the sorry, go ahead.
No, you're good. What were you?
I was going to say, what was the whipping scene like? Was that pretty
also really good
authentic
too?
And tense?
Yeah. The whole season was basically like Jesus' triumphal entry. So like if you know like the story of Palm Sunday, it starts with that and it ends with, I don't want to spoil it. I shouldn't spoil it, but it's like
spoiler warning.
Season 6 is about the resurrection. The crucifixion. So you can kind of guess where season 5 ends.
Yeah. Spoil it. Isn't there like a whole book about this?
Yeah, but like you'd be surprised with this show. A lot of people don't want it spoiled. So anyway,
I guess a lot of people might be watching it and not reading the Bible. So.
The thing is, there's a lot of characters and storylines that are like in it that are like not in the Bible, but are still like really interesting.
I see.
That people don't want spoiled. So like obviously the Bible scenes, like okay, I can spoil those, but the other stuff I don't want to spoil.
Oh, so you're going to reference something that's not in the okay.
Please tell me he lives.
Well, I mean,
in the
okay,
end.
I will say the Gardens of Gethsemane scene is in this. It's like the last episode.
Bro, I would be interested.
Count it really quick for me
and it is it's a very interesting take on the Garden of Gethsemane, and I really like.
Would you say it's better than the Passion of the Christ's version?
They're just so different. It's hard to it's hard to say.
Okay,
is one hits you in the conviction side, the other hits you in the.
I mean, they're
in the Grace May Abound side.
Yeah, they're very different takes. I love both of them. So, but
one in my left eye, one in my right eye.
Exactly. So the three parts of these all grossed $40 million plus. Well, okay, not individually, but together.
Okay,
they grossed over $40 million. So
nice.
It's a good haul for The Chosen.
Yeah,
for something that's probably normally wouldn't be in theaters.
Yeah, so I think that's going to help them a lot. They've started filming season 6, so that'll come out probably next spring. And you can watch it on, I think, Amazon Prime coming up soon. I think it's also going to be for free on the Chosen app in June. So you might have to wait a little bit.
I need to catch up. I haven't seen any of the show.
So you can watch seasons 1 through 4 on the Chosen app for free. And you can get that on your like phone or your like
TV, right?
smart TV.
Your nearest internet device.
Yeah.
Your intelligent television.
Suppose.
In television.
Well, in television. There you go. Should we talk about upcoming movies?
Let's do it. I'm so excited for this first movie.
Thunderbolts. Was that the first one you were thinking?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Thunderbolts comes out May 2nd.
Thunderbolts
But really May 1st because they always say what day it is, but it's usually the day before that. I don't know why.
Yeah. If anyone knows why that is, we were just talking about this before recording. Why is it with a main public premiere date, it premieres the night before?
It's always Thursday.
So
yeah, like why is that?
So like in the past, it used to be like 12 a.m. showings, which were still technically Friday, right?
Yeah.
But in the past few years, they've just been starting to show it like Thursday night, like early in the evening. When Spider-Man No Way Home came out, I remember watching the release date, and then my brother was like, hey, they're actually selling tickets right now for an 8 p.m. showing. This is the Thursday before. And I'm like, no, you're probably looking at a midnight release. He's like, no, it's 8 p.m. tonight. So I was like, oh. And this was 4 years ago, so
yeah,
it's been a while, and it's probably doing it.
Yeah.
It's weird. You're right, Asher. It is weird. But the release date is still the Friday. But
yeah.
I'm excited. I think it's going to be a good movie, and we'll talk about it here more when we're predicting our box office stuff.
Yeah.
But yeah, Thunderbolts looks solid. I think
it'll be funny.
It'll be funny at the very
and
least.
Not in the I hate Marvel kind of funny, but in the endearing kind of way.
Setting up maybe a villain that will stick around. We know that Sentry's going to be in Doomsday.
Okay, I do have one worry. Okay. Are they going to beat him with the Battle of Friendship and like be like, hey,
do a dance party like they did in Guardians of the Galaxy?
Okay, but
that was I low-key actually kind of like that.
One, that's not really what happened, and two, that is a funny scene.
I like that.
But that's
scene.
not also.
I get it. It's not the best scene ever, but I like it.
Is they all absorb the power and prevent Peter Quill from exploding.
Oh, kind of like Deadpool and Wolverine at the end, where like Deadpool was going to die.
Almost
but then
exactly like that.
Wolverine touched him and transferred more energy. Yeah.
Exactly. See,
It's all made up comic book stuff.
But with Sentry, it's like you were like when we were watching Revenge of the Sith, they played the trailer, and you were like, "How are they going to beat this guy with only punchy, shooty guys?" And then in the trailer, like literally, like 5 seconds after you whispered that to me, was like, "We just punch and shoot good." And you were like, "See?"
It's like in the Battle of New York, like Hawkeye was just happy to be there, right?
Hawkeye helped out, man. He was over there hitting all them dudes.
But it was really the Hulk that technically beat him.
But he did throw an arrow at Loki, shoot an arrow at Loki, sorry, and Loki caught it and was like, haha, got you. But actually it was an exploding arrow.
True.
Which then gave way for the scene of Loki in the Avengers Tower and the confrontation there and stuff.
Hawkeye's not going to be in this movie, as far as we know. But the principle there.
Anyways.
They'll find a way.
They're all
coming back for Doomsday.
I just hope they don't beat him with friendship or they're like talk him down or something. I really want them to beat him in a clever, like figuring out.
It is a good question because like you see how powerful Sentry is. Like he literally stretches out his hand and people turn to
weird shadows
on the ground.
Yeah.
So I know this is Marvel Suicide Squad, and I'm like, I really don't want it to be in the sense that the original one, not the James Gunn one, where you get all these punchy shooty people going up against a goddess, right?
Some supernatural force.
Yeah, and it's like they didn't have a creative way to defeat her. It was really bad. That whole movie's bad, right? But I'm really hoping that they have a creative way to defeat it, and if it's that's like my only worry. But like I think the chemistry, I think they got the chemistry there from the trailers.
Oh, for sure. And I feel like there's going to be I really hope that there's going to be good character I guess study and even like character arcs because in the beginning of them marketing the Thunderbolts movie, I feel like they relied heavily on the sort of rambunctious comedic elements of this movie, but as time has progressed, they have been starting to focus more on like the deeper themes of this movie. Like all of these characters have really huge issues in their past. And it shows all of them like, well, they kind of highlight a few, like they highlight John Walker, they highlight Yelena, they highlight kind of Bucky being someone who can help them as a mentor. Like they're struggling with bad pasts and they're struggling with like the idea of them being a good person because they have this jaded past and, you know, blood on their hands essentially. And so I feel like that gives way for really good storytelling and really good character development. And I really hope they do that well. Yeah. Because I want to see that. That's probably one of my most favorite things I'm excited for about this movie.
Yeah. And I think we're going to get that. It's weird. I'm excited about multiple Marvel things in a row. I think we're going to get to the other one here in a minute. But.
Yes, we will.
Yeah.
May 9th, Friendship, which is a movie with...
It's about us.
Paul Rudd. It's not about us, but it should be. It has Paul Rudd, and it has that guy from... I forget his name. He's like some comedian guy.
Yes. I know who you're talking about. I saw the trailer for it.
Like, what,
where it's like they're friends with him and then they disown him.
Yeah.
Dude, that movie looks so hilarious, dude.
Yeah, it looks like...
It almost looks like a horror.
Yeah, I'm like a horror comedy. I don't know if it's actually a horror movie, but it's got...
So what exactly
his name is Tim Robinson.
Tim Robinson.
He's like this... I think he's become really popular.
He was in the I Think You Should Leave Netflix series.
Well, so what's the movie about? What's the main...
It's like a comedy. It's an A24 thing, I think.
Yeah, it is A24.
A24.
I saw the trailer like a month ago. I thought it was a gag because that guy only does like skits. So I thought it was a skit, but then I saw Paul Rudd and I was like, oh, this is a real movie.
You thought it was like a skit trailer, like a trailer for a fake movie?
Yeah. I thought that's what it was. And then I saw Paul Rudd and I was like, wait a second, that's Paul Rudd. This is a high quality skit.
It's probably not going to break the box office or anything, but it could be an interesting, funny movie.
Dude, we need comedies, man.
Yeah, we do. We need more comedies.
What is it when we were talking about Nacho Libre? It's like, man, we need more comedies, more mainstream comedies. Comedies used to be the money makers.
Not anymore, man. Not anymore.
Is it because they don't make them, or is it because they're just not good?
Well,
some comedies are.
I don't think they've been any
good.
better or worse in quality. I just think that the superhero franchise stuff changed everything. But.
Dude, you remember that one trailer we saw before Star Wars where it was the assassin bridesmaid with Rebel Wilson? Oh, you remember that?
We walked in while that was playing.
Oh, I think I went to the.
You went to the restroom.
I probably went to the bathroom.
It was the first trailer that played.
Dude, I looked at that movie and I'm not trying to bash, but like I just saw that movie and I feel like this movie is 10 years late.
Maybe 20.
Maybe 20. Like this action comedy movie and it's called Bride Hard. Like
yeah.
The name is clever. The name is clever. I'll give you that, but
clever doesn't always win.
I just saw that trailer and I was just thinking like what's the point?
I was barely. I was not looking at the screen, and Asher was like, "Hey, is that actress?" And I was like, "Yeah, I think so."
Is that?
And then it showed Rebel Wilson as like the name, and I was like, "Yeah, it is that actress."
Oh yeah, because Rebel Wilson's what gets people in the theaters now.
Do people go out and see her movies?
Well, the main reason
not as like the star.
The main reason I asked about her is because I was happy for her to see her more in shape, because I remember, years ago she was more on the heavier side, and so seeing her more in shape, I was like, oh, like that's good for her, like I'm happy that she's in shape. So that's why I brought it up. I was like, isn't that?
I thought you were bringing it up because like we hadn't seen her in a movie in forever. No. So I was like, I don't know, man. I think I was looking at my phone or I just wasn't paying attention to what was on the screen. Because we had just sat down.
Yeah.
And I was like, this is like some slop up there or something. It is. It looks like that is a movie that you watch and you can't remember what happened. That's what... I mean, I saw the trailer and I don't even remember. I remember she fell from the sky or something. She fell down, right? That happened in the trailer, right?
I don't know.
That's all I just never mind.
Anyways.
Yeah, we'll see. I don't know. I'm probably not going to see
a movie that was never on the list.
It wasn't on the agenda, but I guess it is an upcoming movie release. So,
sorry,
it fits the bill.
It's in line. It fits the bill, so you're all good.
Final Destination Bloodlines.
I'm actually excited.
Comes out.
I like the Final Destination movies, and by like them, I like the first, third, and fifth.
Last one?
I've never seen a single one, so
Same.
I'll take your word for it.
Honestly, you probably... I don't know if you really like it at this point. It's something you had to watch when you were young and like... Gore, heck yeah. Now it's like, but I'm already attached to it, so.
All right, well, maybe Jason will go see that one. I might skip. I feel like it's like...
I'll definitely skip.
This is like me watching... This is me watching Fast and Furious 10 as like my first Fast and Furious movie. And it's just like, I don't know.
Really? That was your first Fast and Furious movie?
I think I maybe watched... I watched Tokyo Drift when I was like a little kid. And those are the only ones I've seen.
Tokyo Drift is... I don't know if I would say... I love Tokyo Drift. I'm not going to... I'll defend Tokyo Drift to my last breath.
Okay. Well, I'm just saying...
But Fast and Furious is legitimately like a pretty good film.
If I went to go see...
Fast and Furious.
I was going to say Fast and Furious.
It's Too Fast, Too Furious, clearly. We're not talking about Fast and Furious right now. We're talking about Final Destination. What I was saying, I brought it up, so it's my fault. Actually, now that I think about it. But I'm saying that it's like, if I watched this Final Destination movie, it would feel like I was watching like the 10th installment randomly in something and have no context.
You would be missing context, because I think they're definitely relying on the nostalgia. But
yeah.
Also, the other movies are also connected by some thread most of the time. But I will say, I don't know if this one will be that, but I think the films... I wasn't joking. I've only seen the first, third, and the fifth, or whatever the most recent besides the one that's coming out. They're really good, like, master classes in tension. They really like make you like nervous when you're watching the movie. So I think that's pretty good. If you want to,
how are all these characters gonna die? That's
weird to say, but it's like if you want to be extremely anxious and nervous in a film, go watch this. Which is like, why would you want to be that way? But I do. Sign me up.
the adrenaline, I guess. Well, Mission Impossible: The Final Reckoning. It comes out May 23rd. So
I need to catch up.
This is like one of those movies where I just think, oh yeah, that's here. Okay.
Oh, yeah.
This is
That's
what you
my
think?
response.
I mean, kind of, because they've made
Do we
a
need to
bunch of
Mission
these.
Impossible pill you?
Honestly, though, yeah.
No.
The Mission Impossible movies are actually really good.
I think the worst one is like only
Pretty
the
cons-
second one, from what I understand, and then everything
Yeah.
else is like really good.
They're actually pretty consistently really fun movies.
Dude, even the first one, dude, is so good.
This is supposedly the last one, though, coming out. Supposedly.
It's the final
Hence the
reckoning.
final reckoning.
Tom Cruise is now in his 60s, so I don't know how long he can keep going.
I need you to trust me.
He's looking good.
One last
But
time.
he's probably fine.
One last ride.
Yeah, I mean, I watched Mission Impossible: Dead Reckoning a few weeks ago or a few years ago, and really enjoyed it.
That was like 2 summers ago, right? 2023.
2020. Yeah, it came out right before Barbenheimer.
Yeah.
Well,
yeah.
actually, we'll talk about that in a minute. But its box office and how Mission Impossible: Final Reckoning can do. But yeah,
I think Mission Impossible is a really good film series where you could literally just watch any of them and it doesn't really matter.
yeah, you might be
know,
missing a little context, but there's still like you can jump in.
I mean, they swap
Yeah.
out. I mean, there is recurring characters, but they also swap out characters a lot too.
Yeah,
But I need to watch all of them. I haven't seen all of them.
I haven't either. I've seen most of them, but I haven't seen all of them.
Yeah, I watched the first one for the very first time when we went to Orlando, which was now like, dude,
That was 3
that
years
was
ago.
4 years ago.
2022.
Oh, it was
2025.
22?
Yeah, 3 years.
Okay, never mind.
I'm right. You're wrong.
Anyways, we watched it together in Orlando, and that was really fun. I really liked watching it. The helicopter in the tunnel,
Oh yeah,
pretty sick.
pretty dope.
Oh yeah, and the shot where he's like being blasted towards the camera.
Oh yeah. And of course the iconic like dropping down from the rope and like,
Yeah.
you can't touch
Yeah.
anything. That's a great iconic scene.
Yeah.
Lilo and Stitch comes out May 23rd as well. Which that was actually really good, Asher.
Oh, no. I had to.
Now
Ohana means family.
there you go.
Way to go, Asher.
You did it.
You learned what family means.
Thank you.
So Jason's not a fan. I actually honestly the trailer looked pretty good, in my opinion. I know it's Disney sludge.
According to Jason.
It's Disney sludge. I get it. Live action remakes. We don't need them. I know you don't like them, Jason. But I will say, in a vacuum, the trailer looked pretty good.
Oh, yeah? You think you'd look pretty good in a vacuum? Huh?
Do I look good in a vacuum? My mommy says I do.
What?
My mommy says I'm handsome. You said, do you think you look good in a vacuum? That's
Yeah.
what you said, right?
I was implying that I'm going to put you in a vacuum.
Oh, you were going to put me in a vacuum. Do I look good? Anyway.
I mean, 'cause you were
Is
like-
is it a Dyson vacuum or a shark? That's the question.
It's a Kirby.
It's a Disney live action remake. And that makes Jason cringe. And it maybe makes me cringe a little, but you know, hey, it doesn't look like it's going to be that bad. It looks pretty good.
I will give them this. At least they're using Chris Sanders for the voice of Stitch, who was the actual original voice of Stitch. Let me double check
Was
that.
it you?
No, it was not me.
Oh, man.
That was actually not that was not
You
good.
brought that up to me in the theater the other day, and I'm going to repeat my response to you is that's just lipstick on a skeleton. Okay?
Lipstick on a
It's
skeleton.
lipstick on a skeleton. That's what that is.
Yeah, so Chris Sanders, he's coming back for. Oh wait, hold on. Hold on.
Did your fun fact get wrong?
I hope not. Yeah, okay. He's still Stitch. He's still Stitch.
Still Stitch.
Almost freaked out there.
Sorry.
Yeah. And then May 30th, Karate Kid's Legend.
What?
Karate Kid
Is there a
Legends.
Karate Kid?
There is.
Have you seen the trailer yet?
No. I feel like we talked about this though. To be
Dude,
honest, like
this
back in
this
December.
Karate Kid is the multiverse of Karate Kids. They're bringing
Ralph Macchio.
Ralph Macchio and his storyline, and they're putting it like technically, according to this movie coming out, the Jaden Smith Karate Kid storyline happened within the same universe
Yeah.
as the original Karate Kids.
Are they saying Cobra Kai is
So-
also canon now too?
Well, Cobra Kai.
I think Cobra Kai
it's
is
all
already canon.
It's all canon.
Yeah.
Like they don't reuse characters or.
Well, no, like Ralph. Okay, Cobra Kai takes place like years later though, and
Modern
Ralph is
day.
in it, and I forget the name of the actual main character guy.
Johnny?
Yeah, Johnny. He's the main character of Cobra Kai. Or at least he was when it started.
Yeah.
But I didn't know if that was really
This
canon
looks like
or if it
it's
was just
more
more
of
like, look, this is fun. We got the old people back.
It looks like Jackie Chan and Ralph Macchio are the two like guys on the poster, and there's like some other kid.
So they're not bringing Johnny. I mean,
maybe it's Johnny. I haven't.
I think Johnny's been a pretty big part of the recent, like,
well, I
Karate
think
Kid stuff. If Cobra Kai's canon,
I haven't seen Jaden Smith in it, so.
Well, I think the main Karate Kid focus, like the main protagonist who's going to be the one training and fighting, I think is like Jackie Chan's character's nephew or something, if I'm correct. And so basically, Jackie Chan, I think, if I remember correctly, it's been a hot minute since I watched the trailer, but he's going to find Mr. Miyagi, and like he realizes Mr. Miyagi's dead, and so that's when he meets Danielson.
So Jaden Smith is going to be in it again?
I don't know about that.
Oh.
But aside from my thoughts about like tapping into a property that I feel like doesn't need more movies, I really like the way they approach the trailer, like especially with music, like Oriental music, tying it into the visuals and the choreography. I feel like this movie might have some really good choreography, at least, and some good cinematography to pair with that. But I guess we'll see.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, for sure. Karate. Fellas, I need to use the bathroom real quick.
We're gonna cut. Do we want to keep talking about Karate Kid? So you haven't seen the trailer?
I haven't seen the trailer. No. I don't know, man. It's like I'm super invested in something I've never seen. Because I guess I really appreciate what they were doing with Johnny's character. Like, I've read up on it.
Yeah.
And what they're doing is like, there's some justice for his character. And
yeah.
I'm not saying he needed it because he was definitely an antagonist. But he ends up doing the right thing at the very end. He, like, congratulates Ralph at the end of the original movie. So.
That's right. And then his sensei is the one who, like, takes it harder.
Yeah.
And he's the one who has more beef.
I don't know. I think it might be in the second movie or the third Karate Kid. But Miyagi and the sensei, the old sensei of Cobra Kai.
Johnny's old sensei.
Yeah. They fight. And my dad always brings it up.
Yeah, that's at the beginning of the second one. Yeah. If I'm correct.
Yeah. My dad always brings it up. He's like, man, I really love that they fight.
It's cool.
Because it's like, in the first movie, you just get... But you know, Miyagi is like an actual like master sensei. So it's like, you want to see him fight. So my dad was like... Because all these movies came out in the 80s and my dad's an 80s kid.
Yeah. Shout out to Jason's dad.
So, point being is like, I think... to me, it's a little upsetting that Johnny might not... I don't know if Johnny's really... I don't know anything. But if Johnny's not in the newer movie, I think that's a shame because they've done a lot and made his character very relevant in recent years.
Yeah.
And Ralph is in Cobra Kai. So,
and
he's a pretty big part of that too. So if you're bringing him over and it's all canon, so that means all the stuff that's been going on there is still... You know what I mean? So it's like... to me, it's weird that they wouldn't include Johnny.
Yeah.
So... But... Again, I haven't even seen the show Cobra Kai. Like, I don't care.
Yeah.
But I do care.
Yeah.
But I do care.
You know, I went to church with someone back in high school who was in Cobra Kai.
Really?
Yeah. I don't know what episodes or what seasons. Well, so I met him when we were going to a church in Greenville. His name is Tennyson Berry, and I think he's still currently doing this, but he's been working as like a stunt worker, a stunt performer in films and shows. And so he was in Cobra Kai. He was in Loki for a brief scene. He was one of the soldiers on the Navy ship when the Black Mist came. He was in She-Hulk. So if anyone watches She-Hulk and you see the scene where
he's one of the wreckers.
Yeah, he's the wrecker that's grabbing onto She-Hulk as she's growing, and he's like, "What?" You know?
Okay. So when I said, "Why do you know so many people that do that?" I thought you were talking about two different people because I knew about the She-Hulk thing.
Yeah.
And we're back. So we're going to talk about some of the biggest movies that still have to come out this year. We're going to predict which ones will make $1 billion. And then after that,
What do we win when they do hit $1 billion?
Wait, all of these movies are coming out this year?
there's a lot of movies that are coming out, but we're gonna try to get through these pretty quick. I'm just gonna read all these down.
Yeah,
we're not gonna talk about. We're not gonna talk about like all of our thoughts on these movies, just like their likelihood of making $1 billion. So, number 1, Minecraft, Thunderbolts, Fantastic Four, Superman, Mission Impossible, The Final Reckoning, Avatar: Fire and Ash, Zootopia 2, Jurassic World: Rebirth, How to Train Your Dragon, Wicked: For Good, Michael, and Lilo and Stitch.
Michael? What's Michael?
Michael is a biopic based on Michael Jackson. It's coming out in October.
Can I go first?
Yeah.
Minecraft, because I think that's almost guaranteed.
Yeah.
Avatar: Fire and Ash, Zootopia 2, and Michael Jackson.
Michael Jackson.
Mm.
Well, it's just Michael. It could be Michael Jordan.
Well, if
Who
you said
knows?
Michael Jackson, I would have known what it was. So.
Well, it's anyway.
Wait.
So, okay, cool.
Am I missing anything there?
I don't know.
How much money did Wicked make last year? Not $1 billion, right?
A wicked
I
amount.
don't know how much. It did not make $1 billion.
Yeah,
I don't know
okay.
how much off the top of my head, but
Yeah, so I think my 4 are pretty good. I'd bet on that. $100, please.
1 billion for the movies
I
that
think
will
that's
make $1 billion, please.
I think all of these movies have a chance. I will say, but
No, they don't.
I will say all of these movies have a shot.
I don't think Lilo and
but
Stitch would make $1 billion.
We'll see.
I don't think.
I just put it on there just in case.
I love Fantastic Four. That's not making $1 billion.
What do you think?
So Minecraft definitely. As much as it would be cool for Fantastic Four and Thunderbolts to make $1 billion, I don't. At the moment, I don't know if they're gonna get there. I feel like Superman, out of all of the superhero movies this year, has a better chance to make $1 billion. I get if Avatar 3 will make $1 billion. I don't think How to Train Your Dragon is going to make $1 billion. Michael could be close. I would say I wouldn't be surprised if Michael landed somewhere in like the 70 to 80 million.
700 to 800 million.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
I was like 70 to 80 million. You just hate Michael Jackson.
No.
Let's go make that in its first weekend.
Yeah.
First day, man.
I'm curious to see what Jurassic World Rebirth does, because
I don't think that's going to make that much money.
like we just wrapped up a Jurassic World trilogy that, in my opinion, is
Only the first movie was like kind of popular.
even the original Jurassic Park trilogy. Like, it's not even that great.
Again, only the first movie was kind of popular. Which I adore the original Jurassic Park trilogy. I think the rest of the movies have some problems, but you know what? They have Spinosaurus, so can't beat that. Can't beat Spinosaurus.
Yeah.
Jurassic
So-
Park 3, by the way. Or was it 2? No, it's Jurassic Park 3.
Let's just go over all of the Jurassic Park movies in terms of box office worldwide. Jurassic Park, $1 billion.
$1 billion.
1993, $1 billion.
The first
Is
Jurassic
this-
Park was 1993.
Is this adjusted?
Yeah,
for
I guess that makes
inflation?
sense.
I don't think it's adjusted. The Lost World, Jurassic Park, May 1997, $618 million. Jurassic Park 3, July 2001, $395 million. Probably wasn't the best one.
Which one is Spinosaurus? That's the third one, right?
I don't know.
You'll no sé, compadre.
think
Jurassic World, 2015. Sorry, Spinosaurus was what?
I think it's Jurassic Park 3. Because Lost World is... Oh, bless me.
Excuse.
Lost World is when the T-Rex... They bring the T-Rex back to like LA or something.
Yeah, those are the two ones that came out in the late 90s, early 2000s that I didn't see. Jeff Goldblum is in one of them.
Dinosaur fan.
Can
Fake dinosaur
I
fan alert.
Can I guess how much Jurassic World made?
Yeah, go for it.
You said 2015, right?
Yep.
Is it in the 500 million?
Way more than that.
They made $1 billion.
It made, you were $1.1 billion off. It made $1.6 billion.
I can understand.
But how much
that.
did the next two and Lost?
2018 Jurassic World Fallen Kingdom, $1.3 billion.
What?
Jurassic World Dominion,
Don't say it.
$1 billion.
No way.
1 billion, 4 million. It's like 1004004.
That's really weird, dude. Because I feel like
all
nobody
three made
watched those movies.
All three of the new Jurassic Worlds made $1 billion at least.
That doesn't make
worldwide.
sense.
What?
That doesn't make
According to thenumbers.com, which I assume is accurate. It's not accurate.
Thenumbers.com.
Like, I definitely remember Jurassic World when it came out being a big thing.
Yeah.
I was like all into it.
That was a big
I was
cultural
15.
hit.
But the next two, I remember, like the second one, I think people were excited for because the first one was fun. But definitely by the third movie, like, I feel like people didn't care.
Well, I guess you have to give it to the third movie because they did bring back.
Is it the kids? Is it kids? Kids love. I love dinosaurs. Dude.
These movies
Maybe
do.
kids went to go see dinosaurs.
These
Dino
movies
Dan.
do really, really well in China, overseas. So domestic box office, Jurassic World Dominion made $376 million.
I'm not going to underestimate dinosaurs anymore.
Yeah, that's my thing.
Mm-hmm.
I am actually not predicting Rebirth to make $1 billion. I've seen the trend has gone down for the last three. It started really high at 1.6 and it's gone down. Barely got $1 billion in Jurassic World Dominion.
Well, here's the
Wasn't
thing.
a great movie.
Unironically, though, the new Jurassic World Rebirth or Jurassic Park Rebirth, it actually looks.
It's Jurassic World.
Sorry, it looks pretty good. Like, it looks better than the last two.
There is clearly an audience for
Like,
the Jurassic World.
I didn't
people.
want to watch the rest of the Jurassic World movies. I was like done after the first one, but I want to see the new one now. But
Well,
is
the
it because
director-
I don't have enough dinosaurs in my life?
Well, the director is Gareth Edwards,
Who I love.
and
Gareth
he
Edwards is
did
great.
he did Rogue One. He did The Creator as well, right? The Creator.
I don't think that's a very good movie, but yes.
You guys are talking me into changing my mind.
Because I saw a brief caption on Instagram through Industrial Light and Magic that like he's wanting to care about the original Jurassic Park and he's wanting to capture the same spirit. I mean,
I like Gareth Edwards. I mean, The Creator came out a few years ago. Really great, like a really great sci-fi movie.
No.
You didn't like The Creator?
No.
Why didn't you like The Creator?
I think it looks visually amazing. It's like 4 different movies in one.
All right, well, we're not going to get into that. But I really liked it. I think Gareth Edwards, like, he also did Godzilla, right? One of the Godzilla movies.
oh yeah, the
2014.
the 2014 Godzilla,
Which is good.
I think
love
he's
that
a
movie.
good, like, director of, like, sci-fi type stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Big monster movies, AI, alien movie, just that kind of genre.
Star Warsy movies.
I'm a modest. I don't know if I'm really excited about this because Jurassic World or the Jurassic series, I think, has like maybe one good movie.
You're not counting Spinosaurus.
Okay, well,
Spinosaurus carries.
it passes the rule of
movie I
cool
count.
probably on many occasions, but I guess people just really love seeing big dinos fighting each other, which I do too. I like that, I guess. So,
I like big dinosaurs.
Must go.
and it's got Scarlett Johansson, who's a big movie star.
So is that her?
Yeah.
I first thought it was someone who just looked like her.
No, it's her, and it's also got Jonathan Bailey, who was in Wicked, and he's definitely his stardom is going up. So
Okay.
maybe it'll be good. Something my gut tells me it's not going to quite get $1 billion, just because I think while there is still a lot of love and interest in these movies, I don't know if it's maybe the Chinese market just propels this thing to glory.
Why?
But-
What makes you say that?
Because that's what they've done with all the other ones. Most of their money has come from the international markets.
Oh.
It made $1 billion alone outside of the U.S. Jurassic World did.
That is so
So-
interesting.
But the U.S. never carries a movie to $1 billion. Does it?
Very rarely, but I mean, these are exorbitant sums that are coming from
Well,
globally.
like
That's a large percentage.
If
that
the
these
first one
movies
made
are.
$1 billion outside of the U.S., that means in the U.S. it was only like, what, 500 million?
Yeah, maybe.
I mean, that's pretty,
That's still a lot, but yeah, I mean, the percentages that these dino movies are pushing out internationally is huge. So I might have to change my mind, but I think I'm going to stick with my gut and say it's
what
not
about-
going to get there.
What
I'm
about the
probably going to
last
regret
one?
it.
How much did the U.S. account for domestically in the last one?
Domestic box office, 376 million.
And how much did it make?
Just over $1 billion.
So it made $1 billion
So it was
worldwide.
like a good $600+ million globally.
Okay.
outside of it is, U.S. and Canada.
So I was like, is it just the U.S. that's dropping the numbers? But it seems like even the worldwide box. Okay.
Yeah, it maybe about $900 million for Jurassic World: Fallen Kingdom outside of the U.S. and Canada, and over $1 billion outside the U.S. for the Jurassic World. Mm-hmm. So, yeah, these things really sell overseas. So maybe that propels it, but I just don't see the cultural excitement around this. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe I'll be proven wrong.
I didn't see it about the third one, but apparently here we are.
I think it's gonna get 900 million, but I think it's just gonna fall short.
I will watch it 100,000 times.
Okay, well maybe Jason alone will propel it. But
dude, watching a movie 100,000 times
is probably impossible.
My predictions are Minecraft, but that's the easy one. That doesn't count. Cheater. If we get that one right. I'm probably going to regret this. I think Superman's going to do it. I don't know if a Superman movie's ever gotten $1 billion before. I don't think Man of Steel did. But I think it's going to do it. And the reason why it's because there's a few reasons. This is going to be like the first movie of a new chapter for DCU. And I think that Warner Brothers needs this movie to be good. Yeah. And I think that they've thrown and are throwing every possible resource they can to make this thing as good as possible. I think the trailers turned out pretty good. And I think that audiences want a superhero like Superman right now. I think they want to see something fresh in the genre, and I think that's what's going to provide it for you. And I mean, I know that there is a contingent of loud people on the internet that hate James Gunn just because he didn't cast Henry Cavill as Superman. And I don't think that those people are actually really going to make a difference. And I think, honestly, those people are probably going to go see this movie anyway. I think Superman is that culturally significant. I think that I had this thought earlier today with, I think all the same people that are going to see Fantastic Four are also going to see Superman, and I think there's even more people that are going to see Superman that don't go to see Fantastic Four. I just think it has a bigger base of fans that are going to go see it. I could be wrong. I'm not 100% confident, but I think Superman's going to get to $1 billion.
No, I get you. I mean, Superman's been around, and I feel that every generation living has had some form of Superman given to them, whether it's been comics or cartoon or the movies, even like with the Christopher Reeves Supermans. Like, I feel like we have a wider gamut in terms of generational audiences, and I feel like that's going to help.
But do people outside of the U.S. care about Superman?
I don't know. It's a good question.
I think so. Yeah.
I mean, how much did Man of Steel make?
Well, Man of Steel was not well received when it came out. Whether you like the movie or not, it got
like a 7 on IMDb when it came out.
Well, it was. There was a large contingent of people that didn't like it and criticized the movie. So I think that, and also it was a lot like a darker look Superman. It just seemed like a movie. It was successful at the box office, but I think there were some clear reasons like why it didn't get $1 billion. It's because it wasn't like a universally loved movie by it wasn't like a consensus like fans love this. It wasn't like Spider-Man, like No Way Home or anything. You know, it was just like it was divisive. This movie seems like it's going to try to like unify a lot of comic book fans. Ultimately it could be a pretty safe movie, honestly, but I think it's going to be a big success.
I don't know. I just don't think people actually care about Superman that much.
I think they do, though.
I don't think they do.
Just because we haven't had a movie in a while. But I think
I get a lot of people online. I talk to a lot of folks who just don't like Superman. They think he's too boring.
The trailer had like tens of millions of views within like hours of it coming out.
That doesn't mean anything.
I think it does, though. I think people are ready for a Superman movie. I think they want to see this. And I could be wrong. Maybe it doesn't quite get there. But I'm just going by what my gut is saying. I've already stated my reasons why I think.
I don't think it'll get there. Superman. I mean, we've had Superman shows, Superman in games. Nobody it's Batman. People want Batman.
Yeah.
They don't watch Superman. I'm a Superman lover. I'm a Superman apologist. And I think people don't understand his character. And I think because of that, he unfairly gets categorized as he's just some super powerful, overpowered dude that gets really boring. And I'm like, well, you guys just never have seen any Superman story because that's just not how the character is.
Yeah. So just before you continue that, Man of Steel grossed worldwide $670 million, and U.S. and Canada $291. So it did have over. It was about half split. I think 290 plus 290 would be.
And what about Superman Returns in 2005?
I think more than half of it came from international. So I think people outside do care.
Wait, check Superman Returns 2005. Because that was a movie that was coming out many years after the end of the...
But that was before the cinematic universe days. That was really before this is the kind of film that dominates Hollywood. You know what I'm saying? So Superman Returns... did not perform really that well. $391 million worldwide. But also that movie, another one that did not get received well from critic. Well, it actually has a pretty good 72 Metacritic, but fans didn't seem to be as high on it. It's got like a 6.1. Man of Steel has a 7.1, but like a 50 something on Metacritic. So, and also with inflation, I mean, maybe that number would be a little bit higher, but also I think cultural context matters. And I think
it does. I think you're wrong about how much people want Superman. I think
this is a perfect time for Superman, but
I don't think you're wrong about that specifically. I just think you're wrong about how much it's going to make because of that. Like all these people who run a really good we're not a huge population of folks, I don't think. I don't think it won't be successful in that sense. I just don't think it's going to make $1 billion. Does that make sense? I think it's a ace for 700 to 800 million.
Well, that's what like Dune did. Dune 2 did, and I think it's going to be bigger than that. Let's what the Batman 2022 did. It was like 700 million globally. I think that Superman is going to exceed that.
Batman is popular. Batman is Batman and Spider-Man.
I'm not saying this is going to do like the 1.4 billion or whatever Spider-Man did, but
you could argue that Batman, by the time when that came out, that people are tired of Batman, maybe. But I don't know, man. Batman is more popular than Superman. He is. That's not like a...
Maybe at the box office, you're right, but I still think that...
I mean, even amongst comic book fans, a lot of his... When people talk about the greatest written comics of all times, they're talking about a lot of Batman and a lot of Spider-Man, and you go on from there. Superman is hardly brought up when it comes to all-time classic individual stories in the comics.
I think I probably would be the minority picking Superman, but I don't know. Maybe I'm just letting my bias get in the way, but I'm predicting this movie is going to be the biggest movie this summer. And we'll get to that in a minute, but we gotta move on. I'll give you my 4 real quick. Superman, $1 billion, Minecraft. I'm also going to go Avatar 3 billion. That comes out in the fall or the winter. And I'm also going to go with Michael. Maybe there might be more that get added to that, but I think that those 4 sure are going to make it. Fantastic Four could. Some people are saying Fantastic Four is going to outperform Superman.
I want it to make $1 billion, but I'm not sure if it will.
Which I could see a world, but I think if Superman, if people love Superman, if it's a good movie, I think it's going to make $1 billion. If it's another Man of Steel or Superman Returns where it's divisive, maybe not. But if it's a quality movie that can unify comic book fans, I think this is going to be $1 billion movie.
I can see that.
And I think going back, you're right, Batman's really popular, but I feel like even the Batman making $700 million, a movie that it was well received generally, but it still had its naysayers because it was really dark and everything. If that movie can do in 700 range, I don't see why Superman couldn't. Because Superman...
Well, I just said I think it's going to be a $700, $800 million movie.
I
didn't say it was going to be unsuccessful.
That's a safe estimate.
I just don't think it's going to break $1 billion. I don't think it's going to be that. I don't think it's going to be like this super. Like, I think it's going to be relevant. I think it's going to be popular and people are going to talk about it a lot. I just don't think it's going to be $1 billion.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
No, I mean, hey, you could be right, man. But sometimes you got to be bold in your predictions. Sometimes you got to make a hot take. And it's not that hot of a take, but it's a little warm. It's a little warm of a take.
It's microwaved.
Jurassic World, honestly, Jurassic World might do it. Avatar 3, I mean, James Cameron, the only thing he does in his life is pump out $1 billion movies. So Avatar is going to do it. Fantastic Four might. Fantastic Four, if I had to pick a fifth, would probably be it. Zootopia, the first one, made $1 billion.
I was going to say Zootopia.
I had no idea.
It is coming out in that Thanksgiving window.
Well, so
that is tempting.
Prime.
That is tempting.
Prime.
So here's the thing, though. Like, Zootopia 1 is super popular. People really want a sequel. It's been years. And are there other animated movies that are going to compete? You know?
But there's... Every year, though, it's just... There's not that many that get $1 billion. So I don't want to pick, like, 6 movies. You know? But maybe it is. Maybe it's just one of those years.
If not that... I think Zootopia 2 has a really good shot at being the highest grossing animated movie of the year.
Well, I think Zootopia 2 is just going to be Disney's Inside Out 2 from last year. You know? Yeah. I guess the only detriment is it's not coming out in the summer. I think if it came out in the summer.
Yeah, so...
I mean, Thanksgiving's a good slot. Too.
Zootopia is... Yeah, that's like the Moana slot, right? The Disney... Moana... Wish, which that wasn't a big one, but the year before that was Encanto. There's always like a Disney animated movie coming out in November.
Yeah.
So Zootopia could get it. Kids, never underestimate moms taking their kids to movies. That happens
over the holidays.
So man, maybe I should pick Zootopia. It's hard. Okay, no, I'm sticking with it. I'm sticking with my initial things.
Stick with it, Shani.
Superman, Minecraft. Michael, I think Michael's going to do it. See, that one's another one that I don't think people think are going to, but
I think there's a lot of people who are going to want to see that movie that don't typically go to the theaters, and that's where it's going to make its money. Michael
Jackson, and I'll say this, and I mean this, is the most popular musician that's ever lived.
I think that's a fact, probably.
I mean, I'm not counting like Beethoven and stuff, but like,
I'd argue more people know who Michael Jackson is over Beethoven.
Is he a musician or is he just a singer?
He's a musician.
Well, that counts.
He made his own.
A singer counts as a musician.
Oh, okay.
But he also played instruments. He was
okay.
He was mostly like singing and dancing. I think he might have played. Yeah, he probably played some instruments. But
he for sure played
did he play? He might have played something with the Jackson 5 too. I don't know. Regardless, I think this movie is going to be a huge hit. I don't know if it'll be the #1 movie of the year, but I think it has that kind of ceiling to it. I don't know if it'll reach that potential at least, but I think, and that's a similar argument with Superman I forgot to bring up. I think it has a really high ceiling.
Yeah.
Will it reach that potential? I'm not sure, but I think it definitely has a really high ceiling. It might have a lower floor than like something like Fantastic Four in terms of what it will make, but I think it has the potential. Same thing with Michael. I think this could be an absolutely humongous movie. I think so many people want to see it. I think when the first trailers drop, I think it's going to explode. I know there's controversy around Michael Jackson. I don't care. That's not going to affect us at all.
I don't think people care either.
I know people are going to bring that up. Maybe it is important. And maybe it should be a factor. I think he did some sketchy things, but I don't think that's going to matter to most people. People are going to go and see this movie. Jafar Jackson plays Michael Jackson, who I think is his nephew or his cousin or something. And he, probably spent his whole life just like imitating, trying to be like Michael Jackson, right? And I think this is going to be a slam dunk of a movie. I think it's going to get a Best Actor nomination.
Best Score incoming.
Well, I don't know about Best Score.
Or Best Soundtrack. What's the category?
Well, I don't know if it'll get that because that's not an Oscar. Best Soundtrack. It's just Best Original Score. Yeah. And Best Original Song is one of them. That's like in my opinion, the dumbest Oscar.
Can't really make an original song for a Michael Jackson biopic without Michael Jackson.
You could release an unreleased song if they have one of those.
Maybe, but
that'd be pretty sick.
That's the dumbest Oscar.
XYZ.
I'm sorry. Like it's just a way to give famous singers an Oscar. That's really what it is. Like, but anyway.
So, like for example, say Adele's song in a James Bond movie.
Yeah,
would
she
that
won
be
an Oscar for Skyfall.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So that's like an
Billie
example.
Eilish has won 2 Oscars.
Really?
Isn't that not cool though?
For Barbie and for No Time to Die.
Oh.
Or did she win for? She at least
What is
was
it with-
nominated.
What is it with
multiple times.
James Bond and getting these really good songs?
Yeah. Anyway. Anyone? I mean, Lilo and Stitch. I don't think that's going to happen. Wicked 2. I don't think that's going to happen. I think it's going to make a lot. How to Train Your Dragon. It's going to make a lot. Don't think it's going to get $1 billion.
Bye.
Mission Impossible is not going to get $1 billion. Thunderbolts. I think
Thunderbolts.
maybe it could. It's an MCU movie.
Well, how much did the Falcon?
The Marvel.
I mean-
If Captain Marvel made $1 billion, anything can make.
Captain Marvel made $1 billion?
Now it had the advantage of being between Infinity War and Endgame,
and pandering.
so it was basically just like. I don't even think it was pandering. I just think it was like everybody was seeing everything that Marvel was putting out at
That's
that
a good point.
So
That's a really good point.
So if Thunderbolts is really good, it's possible,
What?
but
I would be happy if Thunderbolts made $1 billion. I would be happy if
I think people
Fantastic
are excited
Four
about
made-
Doomsday and are going to start showing up for these movies. So.
Yeah.
I think they're going to show up but I think to that point they're going to show up for Fantastic Four, not Thunderbolts.
As a side note, I think, like, I know we've kind of talked about how some of these movies don't feel like they're leading up to anything, like with the recent Marvel movies. But I feel with like Thunderbolts and Fantastic Four, I feel like there's going to be more sense made.
Then we're like anticipating.
All Kevin Feige has to do is drop a little nugget and then media and say, "Oh, you guys need to see these before Doomsday comes out," and then everybody will go see them.
Like, I feel like these are going to really matter. One, like, as a standalone movie.
Especially Fantastic Four.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah.
I'm not
That's what I'm
convinced
saying. I
about
just don't
Thunderbolts.
I just don't.
But maybe.
I think Fantastic Four has the classic characters that people love, and it's the one directly before Doomsday.
Yeah.
So,
I've already said I'm sticking by.
well,
My
I still
prediction.
don't think it's going to make $1 billion. I'm just saying, of the two, Fantastic Four is more likely to hit it.
Yeah. So, I've come up with a list of my predictions for the top 10 summer movies.
I don't know
And
if I have 10 movies.
We're going to come back to these and see how right I am.
I see,
right.
I see.
And I want you guys to give your commentary as well. So this is the summer season only. So this counts as Thunderbolts kicking it off early May. It's going to end probably like mid-August. That's usually about the summer season, give or take a week or two
It's not
sometimes.
Memorial to Labor Day.
It's Memorial to Labor, but really it's like Thunderbolts is going to be counted as a summer movie, even though it's before Memorial Day.
Yeah.
And it's usually, the summer season, it fluctuates a little bit, but I'm basically counting anything from early May to August. So, all the stuff in early September I looked at, not worth bringing up as a top
Lame
10 anyway.
garbage.
So it was like, the only one I could think I found was like a Conjuring movie that probably not going to get anywhere close to the
Conjuring
top 10.
4?
It's the Conjuring Last Rites.
Sure. Why not?
So the ones that didn't make the list, there's 16 movies that I think are worth even thinking about. Ballerina, Final Destination's Bloodlines, Karate Kid Legends, Megan 2, F1, and Freakier Friday. So Freakier Friday is my 11th. But those
I think Final
6
Destination.
movies I don't think are going to crop.
I'm going to see what your top 10 is, but I think Final Destination is going to do better than you might
No way.
anticipate.
So
People
number
like-
10, number 10, I have The Bad Guys 2, which releases August 1st. And there's a few reasons why.
What's the Bad Guys one?
So The Bad Guy, it's an animated movie with animals. So that's a good start.
There's the wolf, the shark, the snake.
And
I'm being
for me,
serious.
This is a bold take. Maybe Freakier Friday gets in over this, but I'm not underestimating the power of moms bringing their kids to see animated movies with animals in them. I'm just not going to underestimate that ever.
It's a good point. It's a good point.
I'm sorry, you just can't convince me. I know Freakier Friday has a loyal following, but
But
some people were bringing that up in the $1 billion movie conversation. I was like,
what?
You are crazy.
Freakier Friday?
this movie, yeah.
Dude, if
I'm not
Freakier
trying-
Friday makes $1 billion, you should eat like a jalapeno or something.
I'm not trying to bash on Freakier Friday, but I feel like Freakier Friday makes more sense as a Disney Plus release.
I do have it at 11th. I do have it at 11th. So I'm saying maybe it could squeak in there. Squeak. Also, F1, I want to mention, has Brad Pitt. It's by the same director that did Top Gun Maverick. I don't know if it has the same like excitement that Top Gun had going into it. I think it could be a really good movie. The one reason why I am hesitant to leave it off is the power of the Europeans that love F1 racing. It's not as big in America. It is big in America, but Europeans love F1. That's their like, other than soccer, football, whatever you call it, depending on where you're from.
Feetball.
It's like the number 2 sport basically in Europe. So, and it has Brad Pitt, so he's going to appeal to the American side of things. It has Joseph Kosinski, who directed Top Gun Maverick. I'm not going to put it in there because I think Joseph Kosinski, I think that was more like Tom Cruise's movie, you know? Mm-hmm. And I think that's really what propelled Top Gun Maverick. However, I do think this has potential to be like a great dad movie and also a great Wesley movie too. Because I love movies about engines and cool things like that. So
it'll probably have some fun cinematography and sound design
and great editing. You know, it could get there, but don't underestimate. You know, Susan bringing little Timmy to the theater to see Bad Guys 2. Maybe I'm wrong, but I remember DC League of Super Pets was a top 10 summer movie in 2022 or whatever. I was like, all right.
I don't doubt that. Like, I'm just thinking of myself as a 7-year-old and going to see that.
Mom, we have to watch it.
So,
Mom, Kevin Hart plays in it and Dwayne Johnson's in it too.
Okay, maybe Bad Guys 2 doesn't have the star power, but that's the closest thing. See it.
Tomorrow.
Number 9 is 28 Years Later. I'm putting that on there. That comes out June 20th. The zombie crowd's going to show up for this.
Is that even still? Is that crowd even still in this world?
Does. I'm not part of that crowd really, but I think that crowd still exists.
I think it still exists, but I also think people really love 28 Days and 28 Weeks Later.
Yeah, I think it's going to be a good movie, and I think that's going to propel it. I think it's going to be a good movie that is it's a genre film that people enjoy. So I think it's going to...
It's been a while since we've had a staple film in the zombie.
It's had really good marketing too, great trailers. It is rated R, so maybe that holds it back a little bit just from like the accessibility. But I
will be watching.
I think it's going to get on there.
Post-haste.
And honestly, I'm here for it. I love Aaron Taylor Johnson as an actor.
Zombie Killian.
It's got Ray Fiennes in it. Alex Garland's writing it.
There's like a Tower of Skulls. What's not to like?
Danny Boyle's directing it. It has a lot of great filmmakers and actors and zombies. I think that's a recipe for top 10 movie of the summer. So. Top 10 movie of the year, probably not, but number 8 also comes out the same day as 28 Years Later, Elio, which is a Pixar movie.
I've been seeing trailers for that.
This one, if Pixar movies, I think are pretty easy to predict. If they're good, make a lot of money. If they're not good, they bomb. Lightyear, terrible, bombed at the box office. Inside Out 2, great. Biggest movie of the year. I don't think Elio is going to be the biggest movie of the year, but I do think it's going to be a top 10 movie. I have it at 8. I think it's... What are we going to call the weekend of Elio and 28 Years Later? 28 Elios later.
We don't have to
weekend. These. We don't have to do... We got to do a Barbenheimer for everything. Lilo and Stitch and Mission Impossible come out the same week. Same day.
Mission and Stitchable.
Lilo Impossible. The final stitching.
The final stitches.
The final stitching. Anyway, Elio at 8. Again, don't underestimate moms taking their kids, and also adults that just love Pixar too.
True.
I think are going to show up for it.
True.
So,
there's a lot of people who were kids for like Pixar's
forever
entrance and are now adults. You know.
My prediction number 7, Mission Impossible: The Final Reckoning. I think this is going to be bigger. So the first, or Dead Reckoning, nice. Dead Reckoning was good, a really good movie, but it came out like the week before Barbenheimer. That was a huge mistake. They lost all of their premium IMAX screenings to Oppenheimer.
Dang.
And there was actually drama. Like Tom Cruise was like, he was mad at Christopher Nolan.
That's not his fault.
But I'm like, but he could have released it in August.
Is it not the producer's fault?
They could have made it like an August release. Yeah, exactly. Tom Cruise was a producer on that movie. I feel like he should have been like, hey, let's release it a couple weeks after Barbenheimer instead of before so we can get our piece in.
Yeah.
But anyway, this comes out the same day as Lilo and Stitch too, so I don't know if that's going to negatively affect it. I think it probably will, but
is the crowd going to see Lilo and Stitch the same as Mission Impossible?
Maybe I was about to say.
I don't think so. Maybe a couple of parents who are torn and have to take their kids to Lilo and Stitch instead.
Dads are going to be like, Mom and daughter, you go see Lilo and Stitch. I'm going to go see Mission Impossible.
I feel like the people who are going to see Lilo and Stitch will be in the theater, and then they'll hear the explosions from the next theater over from Mission Impossible.
Exactly. The stitching, man. That's going to be a good weekend. It's a thing. Glicked, the stitching, and
not a thing.
What was the other one? Elio later.
Is there any other ones we can do, like How to Train Your Dinosaur?
No. How to Train Your Dragon is a solo release. Well, okay, there's smaller movies coming out, but that has its own weekend, June 13th. And that is my number 6 pick.
Really?
I think
really?
You
put that high up.
Yeah, I think that.
But again,
I'm going on a
kids with animals and kids with creatures.
I think it's going to be a big hit. I do.
It's so unfortunate, dude. That makes me so mad and upset.
Some people are talking about it in the billion territory. I'm not talking about it that. I'm thinking maybe 600 million is realistic.
I think I might cry.
It's a shot-for-shot remake, but I think
I might cry.
Again, this is another parents take their kids to movie that is a popular IP. It has the rest. It has all of the like manufactured in a lab type. I'm gonna make money kind of movie.
There's like an actual dragon in it. It was like green and got dollar signs on it.
Yes. So we'll see. My number 5 is Lilo and Stitch.
That's pretty fair. You
guys think that's fair?
I think it will be pretty popular.
I think it'll be
again to the detriment of my health.
I think it's gonna be. It's not gonna be like Lilo, or it's not gonna be like Snow White. Like it would be a complete disaster. I think there's a lot of goodwill towards this movie in general.
Yeah,
the trailers seem fun.
So there's a lot of love for Stitch as a character, and I'm just imagining like Jason, like outside the movie theater in a corner crying, and all the kids coming out of the Stitch theater,
and I'm like yelling at him,
like, "Mommy, what's wrong with him?"
He's just a sad little man.
He's a sad man. Oh man. So yeah, I think Lilo and Stitch is just. I'm trying to keep the podcast going, but I can't.
It's just such an interesting visual Asher just conjured for me. He was like, Jason, I can imagine you just crying out in the theater getting mocked by children.
I hope that happens.
Why?
No, if that happens, I'll come and pick you up and help you, Jason.
Thanks, Asher.
You're welcome. Kidding.
He's kidding, but I thank you, Asher.
So, we're going to keep going. All right. Jurassic World Rebirth is my number 4.
That's pretty fair.
Which, honestly, the more I think about it, man, this could just be some cheese that is the top movie. I don't want it. Maybe it's good.
I was like over here being a hater, and you were like, dude, dinosaurs make billions.
I recorded that short of like what I predicted. Like, to be $1 billion, which I might have to record that different. I might have to re-record it. Because my mind might be changing.
Lost media.
But I'm locking this top 10 in. I'm locking it in. I'm going to stick by my guns or whatever you
We should really come up with a... Anyways, we'll let you finish.
Good. Thunderbolts is my number 3.
Nice.
I don't disagree that.
So my top 3 are the superhero trio.
Yeah, so
I'm committing to that. Thunderbolts, number 2, Fantastic Four, number 1, Superman. That's a lot. I
think Thunderbolts might be. At the end of the day, it might be in the top 5.
Yeah,
maybe.
You might have a hard,
maybe not top 3, but top 5.
You're gonna have a hard time beating out like Lilo and Stitch and the dinosaur movie.
Okay. Well, what you guys got to do is you've got to make your own top 10. We'll do like a.
You literally said, "I want your commentary on this."
I want you to comment. I'm glad you're commenting on mine, but you guys need to make your own list. So at the end of the summer, we're going to go back and check.
This is a fun Wesley thing. And it's like at the end of the summer, we're immune and we get to laugh at you.
Oh, you just don't want the responsibility. See, I'm being brave and putting my thoughts out there.
Have I not been opinionated this entire... Anyways.
Do you really want us to make a list?
You can if you want. You don't have to. But.
Okay.
I think it'd be fun if we all like came back and were like, oh.
So you don't want
remind
me
me to make a movie list
what I disagree with
Saturday
you?
morning.
I guess I already aired it out though.
Well, you don't have to make them like right now, but like.
Here, let me just.
I just said a
Where's my
reminder.
Hello Kitty?
I have the list that I can send you guys of movies. That you can just
Here, how about this, Jason? I'm gonna text you. Make a list.
So.
I'm gonna say, Jason,
Make a list.
make a list.
Thanks, buddy.
Yeah. So just to recap, number 10, The Bad Guys 2. Number 9, 28 Years Later. Number 8, Elio. Number 7, Mission Impossible: The Final Reckoning. Number 6, How to Train Your Dragon. Number 5, Lilo and Stitch. Number 4, Jurassic World Rebirth. Number 3, Thunderbolts. Number 2, Fantastic Four. Number 1, Superman. Ba-do-ba-do-do.
I think I agree with all of your top 10. Just some of the different.
Just
ordering.
Except
reorder
none
it.
of them.
You would reorder it.
I would also. I really think Final Destination is going to sneak into the top 10.
Really?
I think so. I think there's a lot of people who want to watch it that are going to come out and watch it.
I'm more convinced by your.
It's a summer thriller doohickey mabob. It's got Tony Todd in it. His last performance, I think, before he passed.
I don't know. Like, I mean, I'm leaving like Karate Kid out of here.
You have no
and I don't think that's going to make more money than Karate Kid.
I think it will. I think you just have no association.
Did we even talk
Final
about Megan?
Destination.
I don't know, dude. Karate
Megan
Kid.
that's a nothing movie.
Karate Kid. You're kind of pulling in a few generations.
That's what I'm saying.
Of audience members.
I don't think
Destination is
Final
like a late
Destination
90s,
is not
early
going to be top
2000s
10.
thing.
Okay, well you can put it on your top 10.
All these like tweens and teens who grew up watching those movies are in their like 30s and 40s now. That are going to want to watch it.
Yeah, but like,
But
is
then-
it going to make more?
And then there's
where's
people
the
like
space?
me
What are you bumping
who
off?
watched it as a kid. What do I bump off?
Are you going to bump off Bad Guys too?
Probably, maybe.
Are you going to bump
I don't
off?
want to. I don't want to like. What was your number 9?
28 Years Later.
And your number 8 was Elio.
Elio.
I think Bad Guys 2 or Elio would fall out and be replaced by
Okay.
that.
Okay.
I give you you don't want to underestimate moms with kids, but maybe they have to, it's the economy. In this economy, you got to pick one movie, bud.
Well, they're certainly not going to take them to see Final Destination.
Well, I know that, but it's like I think it's this idea
definitely
is like you got to pick one movie we're going to go see.
Well, Elio comes out June 20th.
And when does Bad Guys 2 come out?
Bad Guys 2 comes out August 1st, so that's over a month
Oh,
later. So
maybe not.
we're giving each other space.
Jason's like, never mind.
So anyway,
I'm gonna stick by what I said. Come September, you can hit me with a tomato if I'm wrong.
yeah. And just a reminder, movies like Michael, Wicked, Zootopia 2, Avatar are not eligible because they are fall/winter releases. This is only the summer. So anyway, do we want to talk about Narnia?
I want to talk about it. It can be brief.
I guess it can be brief, and then I guess we can dive more into it as more news
information
comes out.
Yeah.
That's more solidified, you know.
We could talk about it when a trailer comes out. That'll be our next.
Dude, do I even want to?
It's supposed to come out this year, isn't it, or the next year?
In 2026.
It's
It
a
starts
while.
filming this year.
For a while for a trailer.
Okay, let's just talk about it. So there is talk that Meryl Streep is going to be casted as Aslan. And can I say, from someone who wants the source material to be respected, what an insult this is. Like, you're going to cast a female. I'm not saying, like, if this is true, we're not 100% sure if this is accurate, but there is a lot of talk about this.
A lot of people are reporting this.
Yeah, if this is true, why in the world are you casting a female as a very dominant and like larger than life male character, you know?
That is a
Who
clear
plays-
allegory to Jesus.
Yeah, and who is
Yes.
also in the form of a male lion. Like, I'm not being
Like, you want to talk about, like, animals who have very distinct differences between male and female? Lions are one of the first things you think of, because male lions have a mane.
Yeah.
They're super distinguishable.
Or like that big like presence that he has.
Yeah.
And it's like, obviously it's like a symbol of like Jesus, like the man Jesus. So I'm like, it's just a puzzling decision.
Yeah.
And it's definitely like not honoring C.S. Lewis, who is like one of the most well-respected authors of the last century.
Yeah.
You know, to me, it's just a dumb choice. And not that I don't like Meryl Streep. I think Meryl Streep's one of the best actresses.
She's a great actress. Just
and like,
not for Aslan.
And I'm not even a hater. Like we were talking about this before. Like I don't care if you like gender swap certain characters. Like the Silver Surfer is the example I brought up, which technically isn't a gender swap because there's a female version. But that's like,
right.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like if it's like a random character, like that doesn't matter that much, fine. But like this is such an iconic character that like their gender is like important to the character.
Yeah. Well, probably the most pivotal and anchoring character in Narnia, aside from like the Pevensies and
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Like Aslan is why Narnia is Narnia.
So
Aslan created Narnia.
The movie is going to be based off of The Magician's Nephew, so that's the first chronological Narnia book, and it's the order that we have in the Western Hemisphere, or I guess the America, U.S.
Europe is also the Western Hemisphere.
Yeah, sorry, that was not the right way to say it. I know my geography really well, guys. Don't worry.
Does he know?
I meant to say the U.S. and Canada. I don't know why I said Western Hemisphere.
You should have said across the pond.
Emma Mackey has been cast as the White Witch, who, I mean, it seems like good casting. She's like that girl that looks like Margot Robbie, but is like not Margot Robbie.
I need to see who this is.
And they were both in the Barbie movie.
I was going to say, like...
So, like, that was a little confusing.
I'm going to bring up the thing I brought up earlier.
Okay,
It was like,
okay.
I saw a comment where it was like, Liam Neeson is still alive, guys.
Yeah. Why don't I just bring back Liam Neeson? What's wrong with that?
And then Tilda Swinton is also still alive.
Yes.
Yeah, she was
a great White
She was an amazing White Witch.
I don't think we appreciate the casting in that movie. Especially...
I do think the Pevenses lack.
Who else was in that movie, too? Oh, James McAvoy was Mr. Tumnus.
Yeah, he was Mr. Tumnus.
Solid.
There was some solid casting in those films.
Yeah, there was I mean, Tilda Swinton and Liam Neeson and
Now,
duking it out in that one
suppose,
scene was so
Tilda
great.
Swinton might be a little too old to play the White Witch because I think she's supposed to be younger.
Oh yeah, really? And Emma Mackey is definitely like maybe in her late 20s, early 30s.
Emma Mackey looks kind of like Emma Stone as well. Similar facial features.
I'm not familiar with how she looks, to be honest.
Yeah, but I mean, the Meryl Streep casting, I am not a fan of
Why?
at all. And like
Why?
that actually kind of makes me upset and makes me not want to watch this movie.
Yeah.
But
We'll see.
we'll see. Maybe it's just a rumor.
And like a couple episodes ago,
You were encouraging us with an article.
with
with her.
Greta
with
Gerwig.
a quote from
Greta,
Gerwig, yeah.
hopefully these were accurate quotes on this article, but she was saying she wants to be respectful of the source material. How do you do that when you're casting a female actress for a male role?
Yeah.
You know,
Like, and again, like, if they recasted like a random side character where the gender of that character doesn't really matter, like that's
like
not
if they
important
changed
to
Mr.
the character.
Tumnus to like
Yeah,
Miss-
Mrs.
I don't-
Like, I wouldn't start a riot in the streets, but I mean, this is Aslan. Like,
yeah,
it's supposed to be this imposing presence of masculinity, but even more importantly, is like the allegory to Jesus. And the big marketing, like the big audience for this movie is Christians, and like Christians are gonna just hate that casting. They do hate that casting, and
we're talking about it right now.
not that like obviously we don't hate women. We're just like,
Right.
this is just doesn't make any sense, and it ruins something.
Yeah.
So.
From a filmmaking standpoint, from the story, from the source material.
So maybe Meryl Streep will just talk in a really low voice the whole time, and pretend to be a man.
Maybe. I don't
Could you
know,
imagine?
man. I don't know.
That'd be hilarious.
They
Like one of those
just pitch shift her voice like they did with Vin Diesel for Groot.
Kate Blanchett played Bob Dylan in a movie like in the mid 2000s.
What?
Hey, that's a thing that happened, huh?
That was the thing that happened.
There's a lot of girls who play Peter Pan in plays.
True. Yeah.
Well, I was thinking like there's that thing where you actually cast women to voice act boys, like
When they're young.
children in shows, like in cartoons.
Yeah.
Like Timmy Turner is voiced by a woman.
And Jimmy Neutron.
He is, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I just
Or
don't think
Goku.
I don't think anybody
Not his-
was begging for like female representation for Aslan. You know, like
Yeah.
was that like nobody ever once like said that.
Yeah.
So I don't know. That's what we're getting. So anyway,
Oh yeah, the
Aye,
English
aye,
voice
aye.
actor for Naruto is notoriously a woman. But women do really good.
but that's Naruto. Like,
Oh, I was.
if you made an anime adaptation of Naruto as a woman, like
but
maybe
Naruto
people
is
would be
also
mad
a
about that.
kid. He's like a boy. So
Yeah,
my point being is like
that happens all the
what
time
you're
in
saying is
animation.
they're just using a female to play a younger boy.
because their voices match.
Right.
They fit.
That's
not
different.
as-
That's different.
That's not as. That was my point. But
Yeah.
yeah. It's like you wouldn't cast a woman as Jesus in a movie. You know? Like,
No.
Would they? They might.
You would like get.
Oh boy, please
Oh
don't.
my gosh.
Please don't.
Then maybe people would. Anyway, I don't know.
We'll see. We'll see as news comes out, official reports, all that stuff, all that jazz.
We've got a.
Just Greta Gerwig, if you hear this,
Why?
We're emailing
why,
this to you
why?
right now? We're
Yeah.
emailing this.
Well, let's get into some recommendations.
Yeah.
Before we head out.
I recommend the original Narnias. No, I'm just kidding.
But you do though.
But I do. But that's not my recommendation.
So, I can go first. Whatever. Sure.
Yeah.
I hit my head on the microphone.
Go first, man.
Clunk. Keep that in post.
Skadoosh.
My recommendation, I'm just gonna go with Sinners, that movie that we were talking about earlier.
Okay.
And I want to strike it while it's hot because it's in theaters, and you should go see it in the theaters because that's what somebody who cares about the movie industry would do: see movies in the theaters and not wait for it to come out on HBO Flix, Peacock, or
Lou.
whatever. Lou.
Disney.
Yes, because
also
streaming
there.
services are actively hurting the movie industry. So
I pay.
I'm
for
just
it
going to
still,
say it.
But
Maybe it's good for TV, but it's terrible for movie industry. So anyway, so yeah, Sinners, really good movie. I'm not going to go into any more detail. We talked about it a lot earlier, but that's my recommendation. So
Nice.
I like Sinners. Sinners is good. Not my recommendation though. Not saying you shouldn't watch it. You should watch it.
Yeah.
It's a good movie. Like Wesley said, see it in theaters.
yes,
This movie's not in theaters. It came out in 2001. It's called Mulholland Drive, directed by David Lynch, starring Naomi Watts. Probably her best performance. King Kong is up there. 2005 Peter Jackson King Kong. Naomi Watts is in that movie. I like that movie, by the way. Mulholland Drive, dude. I brought up Blue Velvet a few weeks ago. Might have been months now. Because I've been on a very slow David Lynch binge ever since he died. But it's only slow because it's really hard to get all my friends together to watch. We only have one more to watch. It's kind of funny, but we're taking forever. Of the entirety of his filmography that I've seen so far, I think it is his best film. And I also think it is one of the best movies I have ever seen. It is a movie that is really... It's weird. I guess it's kind of cliche. It's like it's a movie that makes you think. But it really does. Not in a movie that makes you think in the sense that you're trying to put a puzzle together and you're trying to put together what's going on. And I'm not saying the movie's confusing. It's just it drip feeds you information and you're kind of filling in this puzzle as it goes along up until the end. And even at the end, your answer isn't immediately clear to you. You have to actually it might be immediately clear to you if you're really paying attention, but by the end of the film, you're kind of just sitting there like, man, like, what am I experiencing? Because he does a really good job of kind of this unreliable narrator type idea where we're not sure we're watching, what we're seeing is the truth, because we're seeing it through the lens of Naomi Watts' character. So you're kind of questioning why, why is she telling us things happen this way, right? And then you kind of see glimpses into what actually happened, and that really helps you pull the whole movie together. So it's just like a really good, when I talk about one of the best experiences I had just watching a film and being engaged with it, it's up there. It's probably entering my top 3 or 5 films of all time.
Nice.
It was really good. 9.5.
Ooh. Wow.
The coveted 9.5.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, watch all of David Lynch's movies, except maybe Dune 1984. That's not a...
Watch that one first.
It's a fun watch in the sense that it's not good at all. It looks good. I think it looks great.
How does that?
It's visually... The aesthetic he goes for is so different from Denis Villeneuve's take on things.
Denis Villeneuve.
But other than that,
That's bad.
everything else he has is good. Watch all of it. If you like movies, must watch.
Nice.
Yeah.
We're just gonna go through. You're just gonna go through his entire filmography, every recommendation.
I may
Keep
recommend
recommending
everything at some point. I'm recommending out of order though, because like Blue Velvet was the third one I've seen. Mulholland Drive is like the fifth, but I've seen other ones in between. I don't know. But Mulholland Drive is definitely the best I've seen so far, so that's why I'm recommending it now.
Nice.
Great.
Yeah.
Thanks.
Cool.
Asher.
So my recommendation is 2011's The Adventures of Tintin.
Yeah, that's a good one.
Guys, I smile when I talk about this movie.
You're
'cause
smiling now?
I'm smiling now. Lourdes and I watched it, I think like 2 or 3 weeks ago. Funny story, actually. We rented it on the night of the Duke versus Houston March Madness game. And we were thinking, wait, let's actually watch that game. That could be fun. So we started Tintin, but like 20 seconds into it. And so we had like 24 hours or 48 hours left to finish it. And so we're like, okay, I guess we're going to watch this tomorrow night, you know? But yeah, guys, this movie is just a really fun adventure movie. And it has a lot of really good performances. It's directed by Steven Spielberg. And even, oh, come on. Lord of the Rings guy. What's his name? Peter Jackson. Peter Jackson is even a part of this, a part of the making of the movie. And you have Jamie Bell as Tintin. Andy Serkis plays Captain Haddock. You have Daniel Craig as the main villain. You have Simon Pegg and Nick Frost doing a fun duo in the movie. They play two English cops.
Like Hot Fuzz.
Yeah, they have the little bowler hats.
Yeah.
So I think they're English.
Simon Pegg and Nick Frost are also in Hot Fuzz.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah.
That's right. That's what you said. I thought you said Hoffas, and I just went along with it, thinking, that's a word.
My apologies, sir. Hot Fuzz, the comedy.
Yeah, but they play a fun duo, and one thing that I think is really fun about this movie is like how vast the landscapes are. There's a lot of really cool sets, from very intimate sets like Tintin's apartment to a really cool kind of vast library that kind of has some like Gothic architecture involved in it. At least that's what I recall correctly. But even they go to, you know, there's a scene on a ship. There's a scene in flying in a plane. There's a scene in the Middle East. There's, you know, flashback scenes of pirates, and it's just very fun. Like just the scope of it, like their adventure in general, is very fun. And I really like Tintin as a character, like his idea of being this journalist who wants to get to the bottom of something for the good of it, and to figure things out, and to stop bad people for the good of it, you know? And one thing that I thought was really fun about this movie was their visual take on it, because they were actually thinking of doing it as a live action movie. And when they did tests of doing it as a live action movie and having a CGI dog in it for Tintin's dog, something just didn't mesh well. And so then they decided to do the motion capture route. Wow. And I think for people who say they don't like motion capture because it gives them the uncanny valley feel, so like Polar Express is an example for some people. They don't really like that movie because of the way the characters look and the facial features. Like, it looks a little unrealistic, and I don't like that. For those who say that, I would immediately direct them towards The Adventures of Tintin, because I think where motion capture had some improvements, for this being 2011, they made a lot of those improvements for this movie. And I think it really shows. Like, they have a lot of close-ups too on these characters' faces, and the detail stands up well. Like, it's really well done. The cinematography is beautiful. The lighting is outstanding. And I like how they stayed very true to the source material in terms of how these characters look, because Tintin, like, was an actual book series, like I don't know if it was children's books, but it was like, you know, follow the adventures of Tintin, see where he's going next type thing. A series of books. And so I like how the characters are very true to their original design. And I really enjoyed that. There is, you know, a lot of fun humor in it, things that were kind of cartoony and that gave way for the medium it was in. But there are also a lot of more, I guess, realistic elements that still made sense in this animated film. And I just really enjoyed it. It's a really fun film from start to finish. If we ever talk about it, I could probably share some thoughts on like the ending, and I have some like questions about how they decided to end the movie, but I think overall really fun and a great movie. So that's my recommendation.
Perhaps we should put it on our slate.
Hey, I'm down to watch it. I'm down to watch it again, guys. It's so good.
Adventures of Tintin.
So good. It has a really beautiful oneer in the movie.
Classic Spielberg.
Dude, it's so interesting seeing what Spielberg decided to do, given this is an animated film, because, you know, you can do things technically that are easier to do in a 3D world than live action. Yeah. So it was really fun to see him, and even Peter Jackson and all those involved, just take the medium for what it is and really push it and really like do everything they could with it. They have some even beautiful transitions and very creative transitions from scene to scene. So like not one piece of the movie was disregarded. Like every shot, every piece of the movie felt thought out, which I really like.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Cool. Those are some solid.
Thanks for sharing with us, Asher.
You're welcome.
Yeah, thanks for your recommendation as well.
Oh, thank you so much.
I always like our recommendations. It's fun hearing our thoughts.
Yeah. So you should check out Sinners, Mulholland Drive, and The Adventures of Tintin. That's your homework for the next episode. So
we'll be checking.
Yeah, we'll be checking.
Yeah.
Just submit it to our portal.
Submit it to our portal. Yeah. Via email or Instagram or YouTube or Spotify, because you can make comments on Spotify.
Yep.
And maybe Apple Music. I don't have Apple, but
I don't know if you can do comments on Apple podcasts.
I don't have Apple, but maybe you can. If you can, you should. And give us 5-star reviews. Somebody didn't give us a 5-star review on Spotify.
No way.
So we're at a 4.5 now.
No way. Are you serious?
Yes. So you got to bump that back up.
Wait.
Get that going.
It'll be impossible to get back to 5 stars.
I bet it was like one of my brothers trolling me or something. But
why would they do that to that extent? No, we're 4.5 on Spotify now.
No, bump us up to a 4.6 by giving us a 5.
Well, what would be helpful is if they gave the star rating, but also a review. So, like, maybe if they have feedback that could help us improve as a podcast, that would be helpful.
What did we do to lose that star, sir?
We're perfect.
That
we
half
don't need
star.
any feedback. Nah, I'm joking. Well, yeah, you follow us on all social medias that are only Instagram, actually, right now. But we're thinking about a TikTok. We haven't decided on that yet. But
figuring it out.
We may have one the next time you see us.
Also Facebook, too. We're thinking about it.
But we are for sure right now on YouTube, Spotify, Apple, and Instagram.
So check us out there.
Links are in the show notes.
Yeah, so I think that'll do it for the On the Slate Movie Podcast, episode 15. We are your hosts, Wesley,
Jason,
and Asher.
Have a good one, everyone. God bless.